Assisting any animal is a remarkable experience, but it becomes even more extraordinary when the creature is as colossal as a school bus. This was the case when a team of rescuers had the opportunity to aid a female humpback whale, which left them in awe. However, it was the whale's subsequent actions that will leave you astounded and deeply touched. Join us for an extraordinary tale set amidst the scenic Balearic Islands of Spain, just off the coast of Mallorca. This picturesque location boasts a diverse range of marine life, but humpback whales are a rarity in these waters and have only been spotted a handful of times. These colossal creatures are not only intelligent, but also known to be nurturing. In fact, humpback whales are among the largest living beings on our planet today. The whale in our story was almost 40 feet or 12 meters long. Adults can weigh up to 35 tons or 32,000 kilograms. That is huge. Yet these majestic creatures glide through the oceans and swim miles at a time. But the poor whale that was spotted by a boat in this area couldn't swim easily. She was trapped by a large red net and couldn't even open her mouth. That meant she hadn't been getting any food, and it might even have been days since she had had her last meal. For an animal of that size, this can quickly weaken them and make them frail. What is even worse was that she was struggling to swim. Whales need to go up to the surface of the ocean to breathe, and since she wasn't moving that easily, this must have been hard to do too. The boat that had spotted the whale quickly let the Marine Department of Spain know about her problem. Then they contacted the aquarium, and experts from the Palma de Mallorca's aquarium set out to see if they could help. They got very close to the whale, and they managed to identify her as a humpback whale. They also realized that she was caught in a drift net. These nets have been banned by the UN more than 30 years ago for some really good reasons. These large nets are left in the ocean for fish to swim into. It can hold a large catch, but the problem is that most marine animals can't see the nets. Anything can swim into it, including mammals like dolphins and whales. Fishermen have no way of controlling what swims into these nets and dies there. Often, many other animals were caught but couldn't be eaten or sold, and they would then just be discarded. Big sea creatures lost their lives because they couldn't get loose. This is why these nets received the nickname Wall of Death. But despite all of this, and the ban from the UN, some people still use these horrible nets. That's why this poor female humpback got caught in it. The boat with rescuers from the aquarium tried to help her, but they couldn't get close enough. She was struggling, but each time they tried to move closer, she would go underneath the water. They didn't want to cause her even more distress, but they still needed to figure out a way to help her get freed. If she didn't eat soon and start to swim normally, she would surely lose her life. They called local diving centers for their help. Volunteers from albatross and swallow dive centers quickly responded to the call and prepared to go. This wouldn't be an easy assignment. The whale was completely wrapped up in the net. It was going to take a long time to get her free, and this was a very large animal. She could pose a great risk to their safety too. If she was scared or panicked, it could put these brave divers at great risk while they were right next to her inside the water. But they all decided to risk it. They knew they were the whale's last chance. They had to help despite the danger to their own lives. Torres, a 32-year-old marine biologist and the owner of Albatross Dive Center, described this as one of the most incredible experiences of her life. The same day that the whale was rescued was also Gigi's birthday, and she said that it was one of the most amazing days that she had ever had, an experience that was out of this world, but also really sad. The whale was struggling very much, and it must have frightened her to see these divers coming into the waters with knives and getting so close to her. According to the divers, it looked like the bubbles startled her, and she didn't understand what they were. But quickly, it was like she realized that they were there to help. They would need her to stay calm and not panic and give them enough time to cut her free. If she did suddenly move around a lot or try to get away, it would be dangerous for the divers. But they could also injure this beautiful creature. Their handheld knives had to be very sharp to cut through the thick net, and they didn't really want to cut her accidentally or injure her any further. Slowly they approached, and she allowed them to get close. The net was wrapped all over, and they decided that they would start at the spot that was seemingly giving her the most anxiety. So they started at her head and began slowly cutting away the net from her head and mouth. Soon she could move her mouth again. The painful binding that was cutting into her flesh was removed, and as soon as the divers were done, she would be able to eat again. The group then moved on and started to cut her body free. It took a while. There were a lot of nets. As soon as they cut one piece, it almost looked like another was there taking its place. They also tried to keep all of the pieces together. They didn't want to leave any of it in the ocean, just to entrap another creature on another day. All the while the whale patiently waited for them to finish up. They went slowly, making sure that they didn't cut her, and finally it was just her tail fin that was still stuck inside the net. With what Gija described as a little wiggle, she freed herself all the way. She was going to be okay. The divers expected that she would swim away as soon as she was free. She had to have been hungry after all, but instead she stuck around. She was really weak from the ordeal, and they were worried that she needed more help, but it looked like she just wanted to hang out with her new friends for a little while. She had completely understood that they had helped, and it looked like she wanted to swim with them for a bit. The divers stayed in the water. They were definitely happy to swim with the humpback whale for as long as she wanted them to swim with them. What an incredible experience. They had all formed a bond. Not only did Gidja get to experience the wonder of saving an incredible creature on her birthday, but she also got the experience of swimming with a massive whale at the same time. It's often better not to get too close to these types of creatures, since they can accidentally injure a diver. But in this case, they were all very relaxed in each other's company. This would likely be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for all of them, especially since these whales are so rare in the waters close to Spain. They would need to go far to ever swim with a humpback whale again. Finally, she seemed to have regained her strength and started to swim a bit further away, but then she came back to them again, until it was time to say goodbye for the last time. The divers successfully rescued the distressed whale, but what unfolded next was nothing short of heartwarming. As the drone captured the entire rescue, the whale exhibited a remarkable act of gratitude. She turned around in the water and gave a gentle wave, a gesture that all the divers interpreted as a way of saying thank you. With that, she gracefully swam away into the depths, prepared to resume her life. This unforgettable encounter left a lasting impression on the divers, who will cherish the memory of the grateful whale. I hope you liked this video. If so, please give us a thumbs up and consider sharing it with your friends and family. Don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated on our channel. Thank you for your support.